Alright, we've got the 24-inch moniker cabinet here in natural, and one issue that we've got with this cabinet is the face, which is all birch compared to the carcass plywood. The face has a little more color to it. This plywood it has a really blonde ply on the end of it, so it's we need to darken it up just a tiny bit. So to do that, we're using this product called Polyshades in classic oak satin finish. So the unique thing about this product is it goes over polyurethane stains. So you don't necessarily have to sand down an old finish to get this to work. Another cool thing about this is it's available at any Home Depot, as far as I can tell. So it's easily available, and it seems to exist specifically for this purpose because it just barely darkens wood, just a tiny bit. So I think it's really intended for pretty much this exact use, where you've got a really blonde piece of wood that you need to give just a tiny bit of color to. The instructions on here are pretty straightforward. One thing that a pro advises to do is to grab a sanding block and to just slightly mark up the cabinet. Just a tiny bit. So I took less than 5 minutes marking up this cabinet. Just a tiny bit. Got some dust on here that we should still clean off. With the Polyshades, we were told we're going to need to do a couple of coats. And each coat really needs a few hours. The can says 6 to set, so I'm going to fill up in here a little bit. I got this little foam roller from Home Depot. It was $1.98, and I'm going to go ahead and apply now. You can see we're getting quite a bit out of just that one dip that I gave it. It bubbles up a little bit. Don't worry about that. The Minwax, the manufacturer, instructs us to use steel wool in between coats to really just very lightly, I suppose, sand it. Alright, so that's the first coat. You can see already it's a bit darker. I imagine the more coats we give it, it'll be incrementally darker. The Minwax stuff is actually quite dark, and this is the lightest possible finish you can get. I think it's really intended for just blonde woods, just like this one was, when you want to get just a tiny bit of color. So I'm going to come back here probably in about 3 hours, give it another coat, and see how it looks.